the Arctic Monkeys. When we talk about rock acts, they are one of the premier rock acts that is probably going to be headlining a lot this coming year. They have a world tour set, or I should say, a European and a North American tour, not a world tour quite yet. But it's interesting because last time we talked about them was 4 years ago, and they released Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. A bit of a departure from what we typically know about the Arctic
A bit.
Monkeys, going from being this rock, punk rock type sound into a more uh, jazz lounge band.
Yeah. Lounge singer.
And it was, I think, very mixed reception for Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. I did see them live after that, and they still fucking crush it. They're fantastic live, but you can tell that the people there are all waiting for them to, bust out the guitars and really tear the place down. And when they go into the more like jazzy lounge sound, it's not as well received, or people aren't really there for that. So then we're getting the car 4 years later, and we're still doing the lounge thing, Dave. But so did the car work for you this time, or was it just kind of like, go back to whirring the guitars around, boys?
Yeah, I really do respect that Alex Turner and the guys are just down to pick up where they left off. They don't give a flying fuck about what people said last time. This is what they're feeling these days. I respect the shit out of that because it's in the face of Arctic Monkeys right now doing almost 38 million monthly listeners on Spotify, because AM is one of the biggest and most enduring rock albums of the last 10 years.
Yep.
And do I want to know, almost 1.5 billion streams, a massive track, probably like the signature rock song of that same time period, or at least, right up there.
Yeah.
And they're just not interested in that anymore. And of course, they had made many albums to this point. This is the 7th, so 5 albums of one thing, 2 albums of this new thing. Like I said, I respect it. Is this what I would like to hear? No. Honestly, I like the older stuff better. That's just in line with what I'm into. But this is like pretty like impressively made music in terms of the sounds and the layers of instruments and the approach to making all these songs. It's just not my favorite thing is all, which is kind of in line with what some people said about the last time around. So in a sense, not a lot has changed.
Yeah, I mean, this is a complete like Alex Turner vehicle. It's almost hard to like call it a Monkeys record, but I guess as Turner goes, so go the Arctic Monkeys at this point.
To that point, he actually like recorded and like developed most of this music by himself, and then brought the band in to do the real
Fill it out.
recordings, and yeah, audible from there. But so yeah, very much his creation.
Yeah, and it's they have a couple of collaborators, particularly James Ford is someone that they've worked with a lot. He's all over the production on this, which makes a lot of sense. Um, I gotta say, I liked this more than Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. Like you said, I think this is like a gorgeous album, and just in terms of like how it sounds, I think it's the sort of thing where if this was a different band, I would probably look at it and be like, man, this is really, really solid and like amazing. But you just know that they could still turn out just a great rock album if they wanted to. But like you said, Turner's just not interested in that right now. And so we get this loungy album, but there's a lot of strings in this one. There's a lot more lush production. It's a little funkier at times, and I dug this a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's some moments that are very like hit or miss, and to be honest, a lot of the lyrics I don't get at all. Like a lot of it is just like it sounds like mumbo jumbo nonsense at times, and it's hard to follow. But you just have Alex Turner with these like these falsetto to like crooning the whole time, and then these like beautifully arranged string sections. You have a couple of great guitar solos. You have some really funky like guitar riffs and bass lines, and it's like there's so much here to like. The more I've listened to it, the more I've enjoyed it. But like you said, almost 10 years ago we got AM, and it's like, man, they could just put out one of these rock albums that people will just love, and I hope they go back to it at some point because I do miss hearing those monkeys. But with that said, I mean, what were the songs that you found yourself enjoying the most?
Yeah, there were two songs that stood out to me the most. One would be the first song, "There'd Better Be a Mirror Ball."
The first single.
Just yeah, the piano on that, especially the way
Mhm.
it like hits in like succession towards the beginning, very much reminded me of like a movie drop or something like
Mm.
a needle drop in a film. Thought that was really cool. And then the other one I really dug was "Hello You." Just the
Ooh.
bass, the keys, the strings as well. Like it just some of the best musical playing to me on the listen. But yeah, I think it's all really pleasant and all sounds really great. So I think you just have to be in the right headspace to listen to Alex Turner just do the lounge singer thing again.
Yeah. I will say he can pull the lounge singer thing off. He's like one of those frontmen that is like a true frontman when you go see him, and like women around you are like losing their fucking minds. Um, but yeah, you know what I really like about Hello You is the bass line, like you said, but matched with the bongos like the whole time. It just like has this really like 70s feel to it, which is great. And yeah, there'd be a mirror ball. I think it's probably the most beautifully written song that they have on here. Just like the as a whole, the song really works for me. But man, I like the next song. I ain't quite where I think I am. The second one, that guitar riff, wow 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 wow, like the wah wah on it just is so funky. I really love that, and it's such a change up from the first song. It really like kind of pulled me out of this like trance that Mirrorball kind of puts you in. A few songs later, jet skis on the moat is so ridiculous. Even just thinking about the song, but he's kind of getting into his Isaac Hayes here, right? Even in like delivery and like tune, it's very like that period. And that's followed up by Body Paint, which I think is probably my favorite song here. He has that line, you know, if you're thinking of me, I'm thinking of you too. Like that's kind of like the epitome of the song, just kind of setting that whole moment up, but it's really well done. I think that one also has like my favorite like build up to the end. Like the end, like the guitars just really like whirring and get more of like a classic feel to it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a song on this record that I like don't like, but there's a few on the back half that I found a bit less engaging. Mr. Schwartz was one I didn't really dig that much. And Big Ideas, I didn't find myself going back to all too much, but also a beautiful string arrangement for that. There's still a lot to like here, and like you said, you got to respect them at least committing to the bit, if nothing else. So I'd say check this out, but I mean, not very commercial. Like this is not something like someone clicking through Spotify is gonna like click on. Like the average person is gonna be like, "Oh man, check out this album," you know?
Yeah, one of my first thoughts was not that the music is actually that similar, but just kind of the approach to the musical playing and the lack of commercial viability. It reminded me a lot of the Father John Misty album we got earlier this year, Chloe in the
Oh
Next
yeah.
20th Century. It's like, oh yeah, you just did one for you with that.
Although
More power to you.
I will say, in the UK, it's battling for number one with Midnight's on the
Yep,
charts. So
100,000 plus in the UK. Very impressive for sure.
Arctic
Obviously,
Monkeys.
Midnight's much bigger in the US, but yeah, Arctic Monkeys, it shouldn't come as a shock that they have built-in like real fan base that's still going to show up for something that's not as broadly popular as all the AM hits that have now, you know, sustained themselves on streaming.
Definitely. Well, we're gonna put a song from there onto our Nostalgia Best of 2022 playlist on Spotify. So check that out.